Hi there, my air dominant people. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 3rd. And for air dominant, that means that you have the majority of planets in air, an air sign, or maybe you're Vata dosha in Ayurvedic medicine, or you just know that you're quick thinking, really connected to mental processes, right? That's your style. So, or the reading title resonated. However you came upon this reading, you're in the right place. Let's go to, so for the week of May 3rd, for my air dominant people, where do we start? So the Life Loves You cards by Louise Hay. And thank you for letting me know if these readings are resonating. Let me know in the comments, or simply voting, right? Thumbs up or thumbs down. That way I know to continue the series or to explore a new offering. I'm open to doing that. I just want to be of most service, and I thought this would be a fun thing to try and see if it resonated. And if it doesn't, I am not attached to changing that or just discontinuing this type of reading. So just let me know. I know I can count on my air dominant people to be truthful. All right. So let's see one card to see where we're focusing this reading. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. Write a love note to yourself. What is it that you most need or want to hear? Can you say it to yourself, basically? I am worthy of my own love. Right? Are you over-functioning or over-giving in a connection and feeling depleted or feeling undervalued? Let's explore that a little bit with some oracle cards. I have a bunch of decks in this bag. Let's see what wants to pop out. Move boldly into a golden future. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6. So move boldly into a golden future. Gold. Gold can sometimes represent or be associated with the value, right? Something that's valuable. And certainly that could align with someone who's questioning worthiness, and know whether it's just something you're overthinking, right? Because that could be a tendency of air dominant people. Know that everyone grapples with I'm not enough sometimes, that fear, right? It's a human fear. Every human walking on the planet, unless I guess there's some kind of disorder going on, but any human that's feeling and sentient has this fear pop up from time to time that I'm not enough, and therefore I won't be loved, right? And so we don't want to attach too much or let it roll around in the head too much and give it too much energy, right? And puff it up. It's simply a passing fear that all humans face. And you've used it well in the past in order to grow and assess yourself, right? To assess those areas you need to grow, but know that it's not fixed. Allow yourself room to grow. Have a growth mindset around this. We have emotional healing, right? Maybe you're healing from some deep wounds right now. As your heart heals of old emotional pain, you receive new blessings and love. So old emotional pain, experience from the past, are memories coming up to the surface that were stored in body parts and organs. Sometimes that happens, right? I've had experiences of meditating with a crystal layout and feeling energy move that was associated to a memory, right? Move up and out of my body. So know that there are associations there that are maybe bonding and keeping something stuck. So use that amazing capacity of the mind to hold the entire system in your mind, right? If you can train yourself to not just be stuck here in the mental processes and get tunnel visioned, but to train your mind to, and you can do so with breath, you can scan the body with breath. There are things coming up to heal, and they're just moving through. You might recognize old feelings that you haven't felt for a time, right? You thought you had healed them. Maybe there's some emotional what's the word? Cleansing, right? An emotional cleansing, detoxing that's happening. And so you're noticing as it's coming up and out. And just observe it. You don't need to attach to it, right? It's just coming up and out. You have an amazing capacity to detach and take a bird's eye view as an air sign or air dominant, right? Take the next step now. So what's the next step in this emotional healing? Right? It could simply be let go. If something came up and you're making it mean something more than it means, right? Like you're allowing it to define you by letting it stay in the mind and overthinking. I'm seeing a bird spreading the wings. Spread your wings and release from the talons, whatever this is, a memory coming up, an emotion coming up from the past. Perhaps it's just moving through. It's being processed out. That's okay. That's how it should be. But you're just so aware of it, right? Can't get anything past you, air dominant. I know, but you're hypervigilant, so nothing really gets past you, which can be a gift, right? That is a skill you know you've developed from this natural ability, but it can also hinder your process in healing if you give attention to things that are just passing through. Can you observe and detach and let go, right? Maybe you're going like this to the memory, like, why are you showing up? Why are you showing up? Are you here to define me? Are you here to define me? Can you let it go? Oh, you were just flowing through, right? So just being aware, right? Maybe there is no why as to what its purpose is in coming up. We also have heart-to-heart conversations. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So maybe there's a hurt here, a past hurt, something from the past that that has defined you in some way, or defined your path in some way, or your inability to love and open your heart. Consider if this is something that you feel you can talk about with another, or if that's possible, right? If this is someone that's deceased, you can talk to them about it for sure. Sometimes it's someone who's still alive who we don't feel has the perspective to really understand their impact or what they've done. And it's a wound that we feel needs expressed, something that needs expressed, a boundary needs to be expressed. And it's just something that we can't go really into detail with about another person. They just don't have the comprehension. An exercise you can do that we often do in family constellation work is get something to represent. I have cut out footprints made from like it's like a spongy, like foam board, I guess it is. And they're footprints and you step on them. So if you have one set of footprints representing you, you can also use a piece of paper or whatever you have, right? You don't have to go buy foam board. One to represent you, like a piece of paper or something you can stand on, and then another to represent them, and have them facing each other. And you can start by stepping in your position, right, in the dynamic, and facing them and tuning in, expressing what you need to express, say what you need to say, give it all, right? Get it all out. And then I also encourage you to go and step in their shoes and see what you can learn from that vantage point, right? That's an amazing ability. I'm impressed that that's coming in. Not at my ability, because I'm co-creating this, right, experience, but I'm impressed that's coming in because air signs or air dominant people, I once facilitated a past life regression, and it wasn't quite a past life regression because they weren't going from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. What they were doing was they were saying, well, now I'm here. And they were describing like being an energy that was with this one person and what they were going through. And then they described swooshing through the air, and then all of a sudden they were connected to this person. I never quite understood what exactly they were. And they might have just been consciousness, right? Or an element, right? Or a spirit, who knows what this was, but it did help them and informed them that they had this capacity to kind of practice extreme compassion by attuning, right? And coming into the vantage point in all these different scenarios and learning that way. I think that's coming in for a reason, and I think it might be because that's a skill of yours too. So you might want to consider doing that for this healing process, right? To feel expressed and to grow an understanding of other perspectives. Like the position that person's standing into. Because we like to isolate people, we like to isolate ourselves, but we're all kind of in a position, in a system here. And there's lots of influences we can't see from the outside. We can feel them when we're in the position, but it's hard to explain it to somebody else. So can you use your ability to see different perspectives by seeing the perspective of this person? It might help you grow, if nothing else, right? Of what might be motivating somebody to act or do the things they did, right? And maybe that's something you've been unwilling to look at because it's hurt so much, because it hurt you. It's maybe even traumatized you. That's understandable. So just do what you can. Don't force it. Do what you feel ready to do. I'm pulling an angel medicine card to see what might be medicine. Are we surprised? Maybe you are, but I'm not. Crystals. Crystals. Vibrational therapy. The energy of crystals supports you and helps with your present situation. Heart healing crystals, emotional healing crystals, maybe malachite. You know, malachite is really helpful in supporting you when you're releasing emotional trauma. So if you have a piece of malachite, calcites are absorbent. They'll help you with release, absorbing energies. So if you work with crystals, you can use what you have, what you've been drawn to in the past. You don't have to buy anything new, but tune into them and communicate with them as well, right? You might even use crystals to represent you and this other person stepping into the influence, right, and seeing. You might also grid with crystals, putting selenite in the windowsills and gridding your rooms with to promote angelic energy and protection, right, and peace in the home. Transmute any charged or stagnant energy. Yeah, let's go to the archetype cards and see what part of you. Which of your parts? We're all a bunch of moving parts. Which of your parts would like to take the spotlight during this session? and step forward, right? Take charge of this healing, or reveal the next step. Or take accountability for the sabotage that's currently happening, or what's preventing you from moving forward here. Let's see. Alchemist. Yes. Alchemist. Makes sense then why crystals are being called on here, right? Emotional healing, moving boldly into the future. With the gold, right? We were talking about the gold earlier. Hello, that's alchemy. Light attribute, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Golden wisdom, okay? The shadow attribute, misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. So transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So maybe there is some emotional wounding and trauma here that wants to be transmuted, not just released. So maybe the next step is transmutation, and that requires expression. That requires moving it to a higher frequency, right? Shifting it into a higher frequency. Maybe that's what it's doing. Maybe you're noticing it's coming up and out to release, but also to be expressed. And maybe, you know, artists do this all the time. They take the hardships, the darkness. Healers do it. Alchemists do it, right? The hardships, the darkness of life. They don't try to escape from it. They face it. They walk through it. They also use it as fuel for creative endeavors. Right? It's like Rumpelstiltskin turning the hay into gold, spinning the hay into gold. You can use those lower emotions to express something with humor, right? Or love or light. And maybe that's what this is about as well, right? The heart-to-heart conversations, transmutation with crystals. This sense of self-worth, right? Let's go to the Alchemical Tarot Renewed. Might as well. Alchemist is coming up, so maybe you are an alchemist. Yeah, and that's exactly what you're doing. Right? Empowering yourself. You're maybe in this process of self-empowerment. And turning things that you consider weak into strengths. Gaining wisdom from experiences. So for the week of May 3rd, for the air dominant viewers, let's flesh this out. Get some more information with the Alchemical Tarot Renewed by Robert M. Place. So, heart-to-heart conversation. So the bottom of the deck we have the Six of Coins, which can be about sharing, right? There's two little boys that are drawn on this card, but it can be any dynamic, any relationship. It's just a symbol of sharing, giving an offering, right? And it shows up later too. I'll show you. So, you know, the first card is the Eight of Wands. And in this deck, it's really focused on work. Hard work, putting in hard work. Physical labor. Doing the work. And then the Queen of Swords shows up. And in this deck, the Queen of Swords is facing a choice, right? From this higher vantage point. The Queen of Swords is you, right? Air dominant. And so there's a choice here between doing the work, right? Or moving forward with some kind of offer, right? With a coin, right? This offering here that's being, this offering. And maybe the offering is a union, about marriage, about engagement, a deeper engagement with another. Maybe this is what you're working through. This heart-to-heart conversation is about a partnership, a marriage. Right? Or healing through another. This can be something empaths tend to do, if you identify as empath. Or, you know, it can be a codependent patterning too, of wanting to rescue or heal. Or experience your alchemy through another person, as opposed to doing the work for yourself, right? That it can be this pattern for empaths to come outside of ourselves and want to heal through another, heal others in lieu of healing ourselves. Instead of looking at ourselves, just feeling like, well, I'm the healer, so I have to heal everybody. And it's so unsustainable. So this can be about putting your head down and doing the work for yourself, as opposed to coming forward with this offering. And maybe that's what's in question. Do I just give what I have to give now, even though it's just this pentacle? It's just this, I don't really have a lot to give in a relationship right now because I have a lot to heal, and that's okay. This is what I'm longing for, this union. But these are two whole people, right? 1111, they're two channels for divine energy. And you're working through something right now. Right? And maybe it would just lead to another tower moment, another separation. If you move forward now, if you tried to grow the connection now, instead of doing this inner work, whatever the next step is in that, right? Maybe a heart-to-heart connection about where you really stand on your healing path and the shifts they need to make for themselves. Maybe having a talk and understanding, growing in understanding. And I'll tell you why I think so, because when the Queen of Wands the way Robert drew this deck, see, the Queen of Wands has one side that's red and one side that's green. And the red side is a more mature side, right? It's the ripened side. The green is the unripened, right? The immature pattern, right? Or choice, right? Because this is showing choice. So the mature choice, the wise choice, the ripe choice, right, would be to do the work, right? Do the work. And then the unripened choice, or immature, would be to move forward with whatever you have to offer, the offering you have, right? The one coin you can give. Maybe that's meant for you and your healing, right? So maybe it's smart to take a pause here to heal. Now, that's interesting though, because we have moved boldly into a golden future. So this could be about trusting in your higher power, right? In this deck, they're talking about the Lord. And if that resonates with you, go with that, or whatever light energy, higher frequency, guidance, right? Higher power, source energy, whatever it is, knowing that that will sustain you, and that there's a part of you that knows how to heal this, and to be guided by that, right? To tune into that higher aspect of self and know that that's your true self, and that these two people are whole and channeling that for themselves. That's their higher self showing up healed. That's why they're able to engage on such a deep level with each other, right? Notice that this is staffs, and that this is staffs, right? So in this deck, it's staffs. So choosing to do the work to come before you come into union. Maybe there have been tower moments in the past where there was separation, divine intervention, and choosing to just move forward prematurely instead of doing the alchemy work inside, right? And transmuting some of these wounds so that you're prepared and ready and in the proper state. To not come out of yourself, to be who you truly are, to take the next step in healing. Let's see if there's a guide here or an energy from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Yeah, Kyle Gray. And see if what's guiding you right now. What's a resource for you, helping you on this path? Wise one, grow within your current situation. Wise one. So growing, right? Doing the emotional healing, doing the work. And maybe it is a relationship, doing work in the relationship, right? Heart-to-heart conversations, doing this work. Not just appeasing this person by giving in, right? Or doing a small offer to keep the peace and keep moving forward, because that leads to the tower moment, right? Where it's no longer sustainable and separation is called for to heal. So take moments of internal healing for yourself now, and perhaps seek support in healing the relationship together as well. Because it takes two, right? It takes two. Let's go to the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck by Chris Carr. You know, I use Faden quartz. It's a type of quartz that has a line. It looks like there's a white line in it. And it's said that it connects divine counterparts together, right? It connects them. So that even if they need to separate to heal, that it will repair that relationship and keep them connected. It will also connect you to your true divine partner, so that if the current person is not your divine partner, that it will strengthen the connection with your true partner, right? And help you come into a more sustainable partnership or connection. So, and because I say that because crystals came up and that came to mind. So consider that if that feels right with you, if that resonates with you, just look up Faden quartz, F-A-D-E-N, Faden quartz. All right, let's go to the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck and have one last message. Choose love. Choose love. And sometimes that's self-love. So, right? You have to have love to give. You have to be in a state of self-love so that you have something to offer. If you're struggling with an obstacle or conflict, choose a path of love. Suffering, doubt, and frustration all transform in the presence of love. So show your love courageously. Show your love openly. Show your love with no strings attached. It's safe to give and receive love. In fact, if you have a hard time with self-love, start outside yourself and work your way in. Showing love to others can be a gateway for loving yourself. So just have a love practice. Practice love. Always choose love. And love doesn't mean no boundaries, right? I say that because, sometimes an empath will hear that and think self-sacrifice. And that's not medicine for the empath. That's why we also want to tune into the wise one, right? For discernment. The wise one for discernment, so that we can grow here. Have a growth mindset. Have a growth mindset because you are worthy of your own love, right? Full circle. You're worthy of your own love. So choose love. Right? I hope this was helpful. I hope there was some medicine in there for you. Thanks for liking the video or downvoting it so I know to move on to another offering, right? Or to just stop doing this series. I'd love your feedback there. Also, if you want a personal reading or private session, energy exchange donation link, or other social media platforms, they're all in the description of this video. All right. So much love. You are worthy of your own love. You're very lovable. All right. I will see you in the next video. Bye, empath.